Hello to all my fellow glorious Gaians. My name is Amber, and welcome to my channel, Guidance Through Gaia, where I do tarot pick-a-card readings. If this is your first time here, welcome, and I hope that you find something that resonates with you today. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you for giving me another shot to read for your energy today. So we are looking at the question, how can you support them? We sometimes see our loved ones, whether it's romantic partners, friends, coworkers, family members, experiencing difficult times, and we can feel limited in our capacity to assist them through that. So this reading is intended just to give you some ideas on how you can show this person of yours in your life support, whether it's actions, perspectives, words of affirmation, financial assistance. So we have 3 piles here, and you can feel called to any or all of them. And they are indicated here by these 3 little cards. I love that they're all different colors too. So we have pile number 1 is represented by the zebra. Pile number 2 is represented by the word money, and this what appears to be a bank here. And pile number 3 is represented by the word school, and these school supplies, office supplies here. All right, so go ahead, take as much time as you need, and I will see you at your pile or your piles. Thank you. Bye. Hi, group number 1, you chose the card Zebra, and this is going to be a reading on how you can support the person you are inquiring about. So what we have here is the identifying card. We have 3 oracle cards that we are going to use to discuss like the areas where they may need nurturing, and we're going to use tarot to just get a general message about how you can support them. So to me, we have orange here, which is related to the sacral chakra, sacral. It's about like pleasure and creativity. Zebras are herd animals, and they are often thought of as demonstrators of contrast because they've got the black and the white. The person you're inquiring about may be experiencing a tug of polarities. They may not have a clear vision of what they're doing or who they are. They may be feeling scatterbrained and possibly feeling like really positive one minute, negative the next minute. The zebras are characterized by a level of playfulness, but they can also be ornery. They can be reactive, and they're prey animals. So this person may be in a position where they feel as if they are prey, as if they are at a disadvantage and do not have the skills to protect themselves, or be seen as like a leader or capable, okay? So we're going to look at the tarot first. And just get a general message of how you can support them. And this could be a variety of things. This could be maybe you need to take a gentle, loving approach and offer them like physical comfort or verbal affirmation. Maybe sometimes a person needs a little bit of tough love. Maybe this person needs a demonstration of their individuality. It can be anything, really. The whole goal here, though, is to offer an opportunity that either you didn't see or you weren't sure about. So we have the Empress in reverse. Okay. One thing that I'm feeling from that card, group number 1, is not to smother them, okay? Not to baby them. This person likely, although it doesn't have to be, this person likely is an adult. But even if it's a child, sometimes we have to go through difficult things in order to grow. And if someone in our life is becoming too overprotective or is doing everything for us, or is maybe even like denying the areas where the reality is that maybe we aren't meeting certain expectations, or we're not qualified for something, or the reality of how people are treating us, we can create these blinders, and horse blinders. We can create these blinders upon this person. Support and love and nourishment and nurturing is very important in relationships, but doing too much of that can put people at disadvantages, and it can be more harmful than good. Sometimes we have to struggle in order to learn how to excel. And this may be a situation where the pressure that this person is under could build them into someone stronger. Whereas if you come swooping in to save the day, and tell them, no, baby, like, you're perfect, you didn't do anything wrong, or they're just jealous, or you deserve this, or whatnot, they may become too reliant and dependent upon external validation. Okay, so then we have the dreamer, the Knight of Mirrors, with the Six of Mirrors in it. And so, in spite of like wanting to make sure we're not suffocating this person with over nurturing, we do also want to provide a level of emotional stability and reassurance. So the Knight of Mirrors is, and we got the dreamer here, there's something that your person in mind feels very connected to. It could be like a goal, maybe there is like a project that they want to be a leader of, or maybe they are struggling to make connections with the people around them, or maybe they want to showcase their artistic strengths and capabilities. And the Six of Mirrors, oh look, it's Pan. The Six of Mirrors can talk about reciprocity, for one. So I think this is in part encouraging you to allow them to express themselves and, listen to what their dreams and their visions are, encourage and support that, but also potentially reflect on the future, because the Six of Mirrors is also a card where we think of the past, And so if they're in a situation where they are struggling, have them reflect on past circumstances, whether it was a generalized situation, or like if we take an artist, for example, where maybe this person is, we'll say they're in college, okay, and maybe they're used to being a standout artist, and now there's this competition around them that seems to be gaining more attention, or maybe is more advanced or has better connections. And so you can help them reflect on the past, the past where maybe there were things that they weren't so good at in the past that they improved upon, techniques that they learned from other artists, whether it was like artists they knew or artists that they came across like through media or education. This can also talk about, the times when they were feeling uncertain about their capabilities, and then that insecurity was combated by winning an award, receiving compliments, such as that. So this is really, it's really allowing them, I want to say, to take the wheel instead of you coming in and swooping and providing this nurturing and this sense of overprotection. It's allowing them to take the wheel, to think through like their insecurities or their fears, or to think about the dreams that they want to achieve, and then encouraging that in a way that allows them to reflect or to problem solve independently, you know? So this is, it's about kind of removing yourself from a position of controlling how this person feels and just allowing them to navigate their feelings in a way that you can support, but they ultimately are in control of. Okay. The Ace of Spirals in reverse. With the Five of Spirals in reverse and the Tower in reverse. Okay. So first of all, I would say when something goes wrong in this situation with this person, don't immediately try to fix it. You know? It's not your job to come in and repair or find solutions. You can certainly remind this person that it's okay for things to not go the way that we expect, or for people to not be as receptive to us as what we want. It doesn't mean that it's the end of the world. It doesn't mean that this situation isn't going to work out, or that we're not competent, or that people don't like us. And I would say kind of encourage this person to go with the flow. You know, the Five of Spirals in reverse talks about not engaging in combat. It's kind of like a surrender. And Kali really is this entity that comes in when we are at these points in our lives where we may have destructive behaviors, or the foundation isn't solid, and she helps to tear everything down to rebuild. Okay? But in reverse, this can talk about averting destruction, averting catastrophe. This person may be kind of stubborn, which certainly I think at times has been a benefit of theirs. But I think what would also benefit them is learning how to let things be. You know, especially like, okay, for instance, if this is at work and they're butting heads with coworkers or a boss because they think something should be done one way and the other individual thinks that it should be done the other way, and there's no middle ground. Maybe they're not the one who's really in charge of the direction of the task. This is advising to just kind of encourage them to let go. Okay? Just tell them, you know what? See where it takes you. See what happens. Okay? Because really, fighting about it and butting heads doesn't allow for progress. It doesn't allow for movement. And there are times to choose a battle to fight for. I don't think that whatever this person is going through is one of them. And this may actually be a lesson for them to loosen up control for themselves as well. So how we have the recommendation here to support them: don't try to take control, don't over nurture them. Support their dreams, bring up instances of maybe where they had concerns that they came to realize didn't come to pass, where, you know, things did turn out favorably, where they learned, where they made connections. Encourage them to pursue in spite of doubt, and to imagine like what they want their future to look like. And then encourage them also to maybe let some things go, release control, and see what happens, while you yourself also do not try to take the lead. Don't try to block anything. Don't try to take movement. You know, allow this person to sit and experience this. All right, so now we're going to get 3 cards for where this person may need nurturing and this connection to help facilitate this. So we have card number 25 with Uranus and change. We have card number 21 with the power of your voice. And we have the world is blessed to have you. I think your person is really in their feelings, whether this is an adult, child, friend, coworker, spouse, family member. I think this person is really in their feelings and seeing this struggle as being a negative reflection on them, you know, because we got the power of your voice and the world is blessed to have you. So they really need support in recognizing their individual value, how they contribute positively, the reasons why you appreciate them, maybe bring up ways in which other people have demonstrated or expressed their value for them. We've got a lot of blue here. A lot of blue. So let's look at Uranus with change. Uranus acts like a cosmic clutch. It takes us out of one gear and, after some chaos, shifts us into a new one. Uranus is the modern co-ruler of Aquarius and takes 84 years to round the zodiac. And I'll just point out, you know, Uranus is very much an abstract thinker, okay? Not Uranus, sorry. I mean, yeah, Uranus, but Aquarius. Aquarians are very good at looking outside of the box. And so I think that's what this is encouraging you to try to nurture, offer different perspectives, offer different possibilities or tactics, or even just like relaxation methods. Uranus was the first planet we discovered once the telescope broke the boundary of our known solar system and coincided with the Industrial Revolution, when many technical and cultural assumptions broke apart. It embodies difference and eccentricity as it rotates in the opposite direction of most other planets and at an approximate right angle to them, with one pole pointing towards the sun. What that tells me is that this is an environment that is really challenging your person's perspectives, this person's perspectives. They may be used to doing something one way, and now all of a sudden they're being taught or they're being expected to do it a different way. Or maybe even it's just, though I just saw 1551, maybe even the doing things one way was, hey, you know, whenever I submit an artistic piece, I always win. You know, now they may be having to take a little bit of humbling from this. Maybe they get second place or third, or they don't place at all. And it can be hard to watch people we love go through this, but this really is to their benefit. They may not feel like it right now, but this is broadening their perspective. So surprise or be surprised. Be ready to shift gears. It's time to experiment and try a fresh approach or new road entirely. If your life were a garden, now would be the time to scatter handfuls of diverse seeds, water them all, see what grows robustly, and weed the rest later. So what that shows me is that, you know, they may not have to change everything. You know, they may not have to just deconstruct their complete idea of what success in this situation looks like or their value as a person, but they may need to see, okay, be more observant. You know, if it's a problem with coworkers, you know, learning more about how each coworker responds. You know, what kind of behaviors do they respond positively to? Do you have coworkers who are more serious and analytical? Do you have coworkers who are more creative, more jokester? And respecting that these people are going to be individuals and not a monolith, not expecting them all to react the same way to the same thing. If this is about like finding success in a project, it could be, okay, well, this is the technique that I've used in the past. What kind of response does this elicit? And as they listen to feedback, they might go, okay, well, they really liked this, but this wasn't as well received, or they didn't really mention this. So let's try something else in this area. Maybe for like artistic ventures, they use different techniques or different mediums, maybe even different like themes, and you can look at like school or work, towns, cities, countries, all as different cultures. And so some people may prioritize expression of humans. Some people may prioritize showing the differences of landscapes. Some communities prioritize human faith, abstract culture, what was I saying? Just like abstract ideas. Some people need more concrete things. And so that's just an example of like paintings and stuff, but you can apply a lot of that to other situations. Like if we're trying to bond with coworkers, do they want to kind of just shoot the shit more? Do they like to have deeper conversations? Do they like to talk about science, mechanics? Do they like to talk about human rights, television shows? Let's see. Urgent anxiety can be a symptom of Uranian restlessness, so rather than just flailing about, look for the root cause and ask what change would actually solve the problem. Yes. So trying to nurture them, focusing, and we talked about them feeling scatterbrained potentially. So trying to focus in, okay, like what's the actual problem here? This frustration that you feel, what is the problem? Because you can't really come up with an effective solution if there's a problem. Is it, if you don't know the problem, is there an external problem here, or is it internal? Is it like a technical thing? Is it a moral thing? Is it a perspective thing? What looks like a disaster may bring a wild opportunity. If you are thrown a sudden or shocking change, assume that you are being tossed out of the nest into a potentially heroic journey. Chaos can be an important catalyst, an unnerving moment caught between forms. The discomfort allows and propels you to transform. Become your most authentic, eccentric self. You are just what is needed. Uranus also encourages technical upgrades and a cutting-edge approach, whether that means acquiring new equipment or new skills. I definitely think that there's some skills that they need to have nurtured. And so, if we can support this by talking about it, by helping them find workshops, by helping them find books or videos, practicing with them. So prepare for an evolutionary leap. Shocking circumstances can force you to engage gifts you didn't know you had and help you transform. You are not those external attributes in transformation. You will not dissolve. A caterpillar is still internally the same creature once becomes a butterfly. So definitely remind them of who they are, regardless of the changes around them and maybe the differences that they have to exhibit. But also, I think praise them. When you see a form of success, whether it's they lost and they go over and they congratulate the winner, telling them hey, that was really kind of you. I think they really appreciated that. Or whether it's they are able to grasp a mathematical problem that they didn't understand completely the first few times. You can go, oh my gosh, that's awesome. You got it. See? Oh, it just takes us some practice and some time. So then we've got 21, the power of your voice. So it looks here as if they need to learn how to speak up for themselves more, whether that's defending themselves or even just explaining hey, I don't feel comfortable with this, or I don't understand this. It's about being able to express themselves authentically, because people aren't mind readers, most of us. So for too long, the voice of the feminine, and I mean, these are part of a feminine deck, but the heart's wise expression has been silenced to make way for the voice of logic and learned knowledge to take the lead. Because of this, for generation after generation, many have been afraid to speak their truth, to speak out against what they feel in their hearts is wrong, or to simply share their wisdom, especially if it is different from the masses. But the divine wants us to all share our unique stories and perspectives with the world, for that is why we are here and how we heal. If this message is coming to you today, know it is time to access your voice and share your truth with the world. You are not here to stay quiet. Your voice is needed and you are being guided to recognize its power. The sound frequency of your voice, your language, unique tone, and words heal and activate stuck energies on the planet. No more will the sacred power of your voice be silenced. Let your voice be free, shout your truth from the rooftops, own your wisdom, and sing on the stage of your life. The world is waiting for your fullest expression of who you are and what you came here to share. People are waiting for the healing frequency of your message. Spend time getting quiet to uncover the truth of you, to share the language of your soul with the world. This person may feel like because they're in a new situation, they don't necessarily have a right, or they're not comfortable with expressing themselves. And I think it's important to encourage them to do that even more so. They may feel like they've been shut out after speaking on things, and it's important for them, I think, to encourage them, like, don't shut down. Maybe they need to communicate how upset that made them feel, or try to word their expression in a different way, or just remember, like, okay, this idea got shut down, this communication got shut down, but that doesn't mean that I am not going to express myself, I think this definitely means that they still have wisdom that they can share to others, which maybe is what's making them feel insecure, that they feel like they don't have that wisdom or it's not being recognized. And it's also really important to express, like, when we aren't certain about something, we don't know what to do, we don't know where we are, we don't know what's expected of us, okay? This person may be feeling like, I used to know everything. I was in familiar surroundings. I was with people that I had worked with for a while. I felt very confident in myself. And now there's this lack of confidence. So definitely encourage them to authentically express themselves. And then the world is blessed to have you. Now, that really speaks for itself, but I do want to see which chakra this is aligned with. The root chakra. Yep. So right now they are needing to nurture their sense of stability, their rootedness, their foundation. And it says, you are a blessing to the world, seriously. You may not realize how much joy and light you bring, so today the universe is reminding you of it. When this card comes to you, the universe is acknowledging that during your personal journey, you have surmounted challenges, healed wounds, and become the brightest, most light-filled being you have ever been. This is huge. You have every right to be here on this planet, and you have every right to live in the most authentic way possible. Don't hold back. Express yourself. For when you authentically embody your whole self, you feel safe in your own skin, and the earth becomes a safer place to be. For the steps you are taking to claim your own healing and safety are radiating from you into the world. Realize the blessing that you are. If you've ever felt like a burden, know that this is not your truth. The world is blessed to have you. And vibe of the day is my presence is a blessing. So just nurturing the fact that they are a good person, they're talented, that even if it's just like, because we don't want to over nurture them, but reminding them how much you appreciate them, okay? Because sometimes when we're looking at one situation and we're feeling insufficient in that area, it can kind of feel like that sense extends to everything. And so it may be important for you to just be like, hey, I love you, or hey, you look great today, or hey, thank you so much for helping me for this. Just reminding them of their importance and their value. So group number 1, I hope that this reading resonated with you. If it did, please let me know how in the comment section down below. If you liked the video, I would appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to be a part of our family but haven't done so yet, you can join by clicking the subscribe button and then the notification bell so you know whenever I upload a new video. Bye! Hello, group number 2. You chose the card Money. So this will be your reading on how you can support the person on your mind. This card is going to be kind of an indicator about the situation at hand. These cards right here, the oracle cards, are going to detail the areas where this individual would benefit from being nurtured. And then the tarot itself is going to offer advice on how you can support them. So looking at this money card, the blue is reminiscent of throat chakra. So this could be somebody who is struggling to express an interest in investing in something, who may be struggling to ask for a loan or a raise, who may have to give like a presentation. I believe definitely that there is some monetary concern here. Could even be something like asking for an extension on a payment, you know? So to me, this is very much a person who is likely concerned about their finances, and is struggling on how to approach that, okay? So we are going to look now at the advice that the universe has for you on how you can best support this individual. This could be action oriented, it could be emotional support, it could be assisting with thought processes. Really, the possibilities are endless. But this should either, I don't know if I said this just in group 1 or if it was part of the intro, but this should either kind of confirm tactics that you were unsure of or just offer you alternative methods. Okay. Group 1 got a few different recommendations, so I'm very excited to see what you guys get. So we have the Artiste in reverse with the Queen of Stones in reverse. Ooh, so that tells me if this person is asking you for money, this is likely a situation where you need to take stock of your own financial security first. It's entirely possible that you don't have the leeway financially to do this. And so for as much as we like to help out people, especially when there are money struggles, then sometimes offering that support can put ourselves in harm's way or potentially encourage the recipient to not think more critically about how they handle their finances. This could also be telling you a way that you can support them is by demonstrating how they can conserve their finances. So showing them like, I feel like, the Rocket Money advertisements, like, do they have any subscriptions that they are not utilizing or that they were unaware of? Do they DoorDash too frequently? Maybe they could benefit from, like, for myself, I get a weekly subscription box, and that has really helped me because as somebody who lives on my own, I don't typically cook for myself, and it's actually saved me from spending a lot of money on delivery meals and just eating out in general, and also from buying a lot of groceries that just kind of go to waste and I don't use. This could also be talking about helping them learn to abstain from, like, do you really need to buy this? Or is this something that is kind of like a frivolous expenditure or something that can be purchased later? Is there a cheaper alternative? This could be talking about showing them how to, like, go more in depth in research in, like, savings accounts and the different levels that banks or credit unions typically offer as far as, like, interest goes. This could also be encouraging you to advise them if this is like an investment, to hold off from investing in something until they get more information. Then we have the Four of Stones. See, we really all about conservation. Oh my gosh, you guys. Absolutely. It's very likely that you need to conserve your own financial security. So if this person is asking you to like co-sign on a car or an apartment, it's very likely that if you have any concerns or doubts about that, it's best to listen to your gut and not offer that assistance. This could be saying like, if they're asking you to cover for larger expenses, not to oblige that. This is also really just encouraging you to have a strong foundation for yourself and potentially show them ways that they can build a strong foundation. Now, this is a message that like is not meant to cause any alarm right here. Because I never want to cast suspicion where suspicion didn't already exist. But for those of you who are concerned about the integrity of this person, especially if they've had a tendency in the past to take things without asking for them or take things against your wishes, it's, I would say, highly encouraged that valuables are kept in a safe, secure location. That's what I'm seeing here with this treasure box. It might also be, you know, showing them like, do they have a safety deposit box? Some of them might. But also if they're concerned of anyone coming in and taking their belongings, maybe they have like a roommate, for example, that has a habit of kind of helping themselves to this person's property, then maybe assisting them in finding a way to secure that and hide that from this person. Okay, what else can we do? Okay, the Seven of Swords in reverse, clarified by the Seven of Stones. So I am feeling here that there is a need to be very direct with this person. Okay, if this is somebody who is asking you for money, then you may need to be direct with them and explain either like, no, you need to find a more solid solution. So that could involve like if this person is unemployed, especially like if they're a younger person or something, encouraging them like, you know, go find a job. There are a lot out there and it's going to be something that you have to stay committed to. This could mean like, no, I'm not going to loan you the money, but I will offer to pay you if you assist me with things like home renovation projects or running errands for me, you know, really helping them to develop a sense of responsibility. This also could be advising you to try to help them. If this is for like example, something for work where maybe they have a presentation to give, then it may be advising you to kind of encourage them and maybe even help them come up with a plan on like the steps that they are going to suggest being taken. You know, they may be in a position where they have this really good idea that could be beneficial to the company or to themselves, but the execution of that idea is not necessarily something that they've been able to concretely develop. They may need assistance in conceptualizing that. Or if, like, for instance, this is an investment that they want to make, you know, really approaching them and going, okay, so what are you planning to do with this investment? How do you feel like this is going to benefit you? Because this person, it's kind of making me feel like somebody who might be impulsive. They might see like dollar signs in their head, or a certain level of notoriety or success or experience, but they're not really genuinely understanding what it would take to get there. So for instance, someone gets involved in an MLM, a multi-level marketing scheme, thinking like, hey, if I sell these candles, like I can do this to support myself. And you coming in and going, okay, you know, like, I appreciate the fact that, like, you're looking at something as a potential opportunity to elevate your finances or secure your finances. But I want you to really think about how this works and really delve into the depth of, like, what happens in MLMs and, you know, the work that they have to do to network, build clientele, how starting at the bottom, like, you really make minimal money. And a lot of times, if you have like a sponsor or somebody that gets you into this program, like, they're making money off of the money that you make. And so this person might find that, oh, I didn't completely understand this. Like, I had this perspective that I just sell these things, and really it's going to be easy peasy. I never even thought to think of the steps required. I think this person just needs a certain level of practicality brought to their attention. Ooh, storyteller, the Hermit. You may need to share some personal experiences with them. So for instance, an example I can give for myself. I am in my mid-30s. And it's funny because the Hermit is Virgo energy. So this is almost all like Earth energy, which is often looked at as finances in the tarot. I really wanted to get a new car. I've had 3 cars in my lifetime. This most recent car I've had for almost 10 years. I got it for $500, and the $500 didn't even come from like me. Like, one of my friends, one of his roommates at the time, they had all come down to visit myself and my friend's mom. I was waitressing, and when I was going to take them to the local river in this small town where we were living, we got into a car accident and my car got totaled. And so this other car we found for like $500, and the roommate of my friend gave me like a huge tip, like a 250, 300, maybe even the full 500. I don't know. And refused to accept it back. So he essentially bought my vehicle for me, and it's a really good car. It's a Toyota Corolla. But I've had it for almost 10 years. She is a little beat up. Her name's Crunk. And I got really excited thinking about, oh man, I'm going to go get a new car. I've only ever bought them used and from like small dealerships. So I had started doing some research, and I was seeing like these advertisements where it was like, oh, you can get this beautiful car for like as low as like $150 a month for payments based on your credit. And it was so much more complicated than that. You know, it was like a 2008 vehicle, and I learned that banks do not want to finance vehicles that are that old. And there was so much throughout that process that I went into not knowing, and I walked away from it and going like, oh, Like, this is way different than what I thought it was going to be. You know, I had just seen a quote online and put in my information and was like, oh, okay, yeah, I can do this payment, and gone in thinking it was going to be a sure deal, you know? So, and then it was going to be like, if I could get my friend and his husband to like co-sign it, then the bank would only require me to spend, you know, put a down payment of this much on it. And it was a whole hassle. Okay. So sharing stories like that, your personal experiences, I think is going to be very beneficial for this person, because it does sound like they just kind of need a little bit of an education on finances and stability and monetary gain and programs, whatever this applies to. All right. So areas that this person could benefit being nurtured. We have 16 with solar calm and clarify. That's in reverse. We have card number 3 with your heart's expression. And we have let your inner fire warm you, not burn you. Okay, so we are going to read from the books here. So card number 16, with clarify. When the sun is calm, with few sunspots or solar flares, its steady energy is quiet and soothes any turbulence in our solar system. The volume is turned down on all the other aspects of your astrological chart. Telescopes see farther into space. People tend to search for the metaphysical. Plant growth slows down on Earth, but the arts and creative processes often bloom. Politics tend to be opinionated but quiet, attitudes more entrenched. It's a hard time to start a revolution. Just appreciate the deep, energizing quiet of this time. Work for steady progress and play the long game. Listen to your muse and support the arts. Take a creative approach and work toward positive change within the systems that are now in place with gentle, steady pressure. Find like minds and grow those deep connections. Listen to the quieter voices that are not usually heard, whether this is the whispering voice of your intuition or the subtle voice of introverts or the underrepresented. In romantic relationships, hold hands and look for places of quiet refuge together. Build relationships now that will help you manifest needed changes when the tide turns and the sun activates. So first and foremost, they may be experiencing, whether this is like internal chaos or external chaos. And I don't mean chaos in like a bad way. It could be, for example, as we were talking about, feeling the pressure of like having to pay off a loan or asking for an extension. It could be feeling the pressure of having to give a presentation and feeling anxiety over that. Or it could be that feeling of excitement, you know, of like having this really great idea or thinking that there's this pathway that we've discovered. And I don't think that right now they're experiencing a certain level of calmness. It seems very impatient. It seems very hyper fixated and not focused, but fixated. I feel like that's important to clarify. And they may not be connecting with others. You know, this person might feel like they have to take it on themselves, or they may only be taking their own perspectives into consideration. And so I think it's one thing that needs to be nurtured is to encourage them to take things more slowly and be open to the opinions and insights of others, or to even teamwork with others. If this is a presentation, maybe this is something where they can cooperate with another person or another group. So this is in the challenge mode, and it says, it is not the time to push ahead or spark change. If you try to motivate practical change in your life or try a totally new approach, it can feel like trying to light a match in the fog. Be patient and the fog will clear in time. Patience, absolutely. We definitely talked about this. It's time for them. They need to have the concept of taking things slowly and maybe even putting off investments or new business ventures. Now, if it comes to something like asking for a loan because, for instance, they're running behind on their bills, it could potentially mean like, okay, maybe ask for an extension, or like, for instance, seeing if there is an assistance program that can help them. But I really feel that it's important to encourage practicality in them and not make any sudden, abrupt, drastic changes. You know, and one thing that I'm getting is like they may not even be thinking very clearly. So for instance, if this is someone who is like running behind on bills, for some people, they may have miscalculated their paycheck. And so they may actually be receiving their wages in due time so that they don't have to worry about asking for a loan or borrowing money from other people. So it's entirely possible that for some people who feel like they're on like a time crunch, they may have mixed up some dates or not recognized that something was not coming as quickly as they expected, i.e. the date that the money is needed, or that something is coming more quickly than they expected, i.e. their paycheck or their reimbursement. So we're going to look at number 3, and this comes from the Heart of the Divine. Radiant being, have you forgotten that you are an artist? You don't have to be a trained or esteemed artist by societal standards to live a life of abundant creative expression. All life is art, and you are art. The way a flower blooms is art. The sunset is art, as is the bounty prepared for your family at dinner, even the soft sound of the water streaming from your shower. Expressing yourself creatively is the most natural way for you to be, just like it is for nature, because you too are nature. When you dismiss your creative urges to dance, sing, paint, craft, or however the pulse of life moves through you, you are suppressing the magic of nature's expression as it flows through your being. Creativity outside of production isn't always prioritized or celebrated in our current culture. But in order to create heaven on earth, we must be creating freely, without expectations or limits, just purely as the energy flows through our heart. Expressing yourself through your heart is your most powerful purpose of this life, a sacred act that radically transforms realities and heals. Allow life to move through you and inspire you to create, beloved. You are the rainbow. You are cosmic shapes and an orchestra of healing tones. Let the magic of your heart express itself in free, playful, divine expression. So this person could be relying too much on like outside external ideas. So maybe if they are having to give a presentation, they may be looking at it from a perspective of what do they expect me to do versus like what are my strengths? How do I want to present this? If they're looking at different ways to make money, they might be looking at, like I said, we'll use the candle sales example. They might be looking at as that, but if they have a passion, whether it's like they have an artistic passion, or maybe there's somebody who really enjoys doing like physical labor, doing things with their hands. I would strongly encourage you to encourage them to connect back to that energy. And it might not be something that they can monetize at this time, but if they continue to nurture that and build connections with people who also enjoy that skill or require that skill, they can build up a reputation, they can build up the skills, and potentially create a foundation for themselves that's something that they genuinely enjoy, instead of looking at a marketing scheme and thinking like, oh yeah, I could do that, that's easy. This could also just be like encouraging them to find creative ways to express themselves, like if they need to ask for a raise or if they need to ask for an extension, and practicing the ways in which they can approach that situation. I don't know about you guys, but for me, whenever I feel like I have a difficult conversation or an intimidating conversation to have, I practice it. Like, I've always practiced it. My mom has told me that she used to catch me when I was younger, like if I was upset with her, just rehearsing what I would say. And then let your inner fire warm you, not burn you. So I wonder if this is what chakra? Okay, the solar plexus chakra, characterized by the color yellow. So it governs our digestive system, our gut, and therefore our willpower and intuition. It is governed by the element of fire, and so represents our inner fire, our passions. It's about reclaiming our gifts and talents in order to express ourselves in the world. By connecting with these cards, we let the seeds of our intentions come to life with light and passion on a vibrational level. The solar plexus cards are about bringing our gifts up to the surface so we can shine. Your inner fire is the passion you hold within. It's the part of you that wants to make a difference. It's the part of you that has to get up and go. It's the part of you that wants to keep going when everything else is telling you to stop. This flame of inspiration in the core of your being is bright, inspired, and focused. It lights up when you tune into your passions. You tend that flame when you listen to your intuition and express your most authentic self. Like all fires, however, if you put too much fuel on it, your inner fire can become too hot and uncontrollable. It's important to keep it contained and centered. Today, the universe is acknowledging your gifts and passions, but encouraging you to slow down, take your time, and rest. Let yourself be filled up until you are overflowing rather than operating on half empty. You'll enjoy it more, and so will the world. Vibe of the day: I have time to replenish my energy. So that's interesting because, this is very much a card of fire, but we've got so much earth here. Okay? And that really confirms to me that this person, the best way that you can assist them is by introducing and encouraging levels of practicality and material and foundational security. Because this person, it seems, has a goal in mind, and they're so fixated on it that they're not considering their own needs. So this person may need encouragement to step away from this mindset and do things that they enjoy that aren't related to this situation. Reconnect with friends. Maintain a healthy diet and exercise. So like if this is somebody that you are in contact with frequently, whether it's like a lover, a child, a parent, a coworker, maybe offering them like a glass of water, or asking them if they've taken time to rest. It can be like maybe buying, like, if there's somebody who enjoys relaxing baths, maybe going to the dollar store and buying some like bubble bath or like little essential oils. like lavender to help calm them, you know, elicit the sense of calm. It can be, I don't know, offering to rub their feet if you know each other in that way. Or inviting them on like a short vacation or whatnot. But this person, it does feel like needs to be reminded to prioritize other areas of their life as well. So group number 2, I hope that you found this reading useful. If it resonated with you, please let me know how in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you would like to join our family and haven't done so yet, you can do so by clicking the subscribe button and hitting the notification bell so you'll find out whenever I upload a new video. Bye. All right, group number 3, you chose the card that says school. So this will be your reading on how you can support the person you are asking about. We have this card right here, which will identify the energy of the situation. We have the oracle cards here, which will talk about the different areas that could benefit being nurtured within that person. And then the tarot we're going to use for suggestions on how you can support them. And readings 1 and 2 were pretty different, so I'm very excited. I'm always excited when I get different information, you know? So with the school card here, we've got this kind of like green color, which is almost, you know, it makes me think of the heart chakra. And then when I think of school, obviously I think of education. This person may feel like they are not well informed in something, or they may feel like they don't have the resources. They could be looking for like a mentor of some sorts. This could literally be like they are struggling in school, or they are struggling with some sort of training. And I think it's something that they care a lot about, or it's what they care about might be just their presence, you know, how they are received, how they're viewed, what value they can offer this situation. Okay, so we're going to get a general look at how you can support this person. So far, that message is a little bit tied to it's kind of reminiscent of group 1. But we have the 3 of scrolls here. Maybe it's that they had to learn a hard lesson. So maybe they were schooled. This person could be going through a heartbreak. But also with the 3 of scrolls here, that's the 3 of swords, group number 3. I feel like it may be important for you to have a tough love conversation with them. I do want to get a clarifier on that. Oh, well, I guess I'm going to get 2. We've got the 3 of mirrors and the poet in reverse with the king of scrolls. You may know something that they don't know, group number 3. If this is like a romantic interest here, for instance, if this is someone that they're committed to, they're in a relationship with, or they're seeing to a degree, you may have seen this person in an intimate outing with another individual. You may have learned of correspondences to somebody else that would indicate this person is being unfaithful or is potentially leading this the person you're inquiring about on. It could be that if they applied for a program, they may have just gotten a rejection letter. There's something here to do with group settings. But the poet in the King of Scrolls in reverse, that's somebody who's blocked communication, blocked ideas. So I think there is something or someone that the person you're inquiring about was really emotionally attached to, is emotionally attached to, had their sights set on, had hopes, had plans for, and somehow I think you've come into information that indicates that what the person on your mind wanted is not what's reality. And even if this is a situation with you, you might have to explain to them, like, I'm sorry, you don't meet the qualifications, or we're going to have to go into a different direction, or I'm not interested in taking our relationship to the next level. But I do think that you have here a level of insight that this person doesn't. And then we have the visionary Knight of Scrolls. So already a lot of mental energy here, a lot of air energy, and knights are about action and communication. And like I said, you have insight, and this right here, the visionary, is somebody who has knowledge that is not accessed by everybody, isn't common. We have the Four of Stones. We have the Watcher with the Queen of Mirrors in reverse. And we have the Five of Stones in reverse. No wonder you're asking about this. I don't like being in this position either. So if you have been the decision maker about a situation, it's going to be very important for you to approach this person directly, but with a certain level of compassion as well. I think there's going to be a need to explain what's being withheld and why. The emotional or creative blockages that exist in, like, so for instance, if this is a position that someone interviewed for, and like you are the one who makes the decision, it may be important to explain, like, maybe the vision that the company or the position has, the expectations are not necessarily the strong suit of this person. If this is like a romantic connection, explaining like, hey, I'm not interested in going any further. I don't have an attraction to you, or I just don't feel like I am ready to commit, or there was a situation that occurred between us that potentially changed how I felt. The Five of Stones in reverse can indicate explaining to this person either that the opportunity isn't completely removed from their ability to achieve. Maybe they just need to take more courses, upgrade their resume, do some volunteering. Maybe you just need time to kind of come to terms with some things in your life. And just a reminder to them of, like, this isn't anything personal. And maybe it's because of your temperament, because I don't necessarily, for some situations, if you know the person intimately, I feel like you may know that they need a more gentle approach, but I also feel like group number 3, you just may be a more gentle person. You don't want to hurt people's feelings. And so you can be direct and still try to be tactful, if this is about a situation that was really out of your control, where you don't make the decision, you can still apply this, but understand, like, explain to them as well, like, hey, yes, I saw Jimmy with Cassandra, but you know what? Like, that's not the only person in the world. There are over 7 billion people in the world. And as long as you keep your heart open and you continue to allow for opportunities of connection, you know, you'll find somebody. Jimmy didn't reject you because you're not worthy, okay? Jimmy either just wanted something different, or he just has insecurities in himself and didn't respect how another person would take this. Or, I'm sorry you didn't get that position that you applied for. But, you know, it's okay. While I understand the frustration and the pain that may come from this, it's important not to take it too personally, because there are other options. This isn't the only job in the world. This isn't the only job within the field that you're interested in the world. There are different things that we can look at as well. And, you know, you might be able to show them areas that could still, like, meet their interest. Or, like, for instance, when I first was looking for a job and I didn't get hired, I went and I volunteered at the local humane society for several months. I think it was like 7. And then I went to a small town and got like a summer job. And all of a sudden I had things to put on my resume and my applications. And what do you know? I got a job. Like, showing this person how there are other avenues that they can take. Aww. The moon with the 10 of mirrors. So what I would say is encourage them to fantasize a little bit, you know? Imagination is good for the soul. We obviously don't want to become overwhelmed with our imaginative powers and abilities, but especially when we feel limited because of things like rejection, it can be beneficial for us to imagine, like, what is our perfect future look like? You know, what makes us happy? And for those who are spiritual, this might be encourage them to meditate, you know, to get into that state of emotional zen. I really feel like it's important for this person to be able to imagine in their head what happiness looks like for them, and even just doing things without really having expectations. It's like, you know, if this is about a romantic partner, like, hey, you know, you could always try speed dating or go on some Tinder dates and have fun. Like, don't go into it having expectations, but allow yourself to meet different kinds of people. Or, hey, maybe you should get involved in this summer program, or take this workshop, or something that encourages them to explore the unknown so that they can potentially discover people, places, activities that bring them a lot of joy. Okay? So these cards next are just going to describe to us the areas that they could use nurturing in. So we have 37 with Descendant and Invitation. 26 with Ancestral Remembrance. And then Manifesting is my superpower. So, 37 with Invitation, and we're going to read directly from the books here. While the ascendant describes how you enter the world, the descendant is the place where you invite equal others to come into your world. It describes how you see these peers, what you project upon them, and what you were trained to respect in them. The descendant is where the sun would be at sunset. So this could literally be like inviting them with you to do things, or encouraging them to visit their loved ones or old communities. But this could also be encouraging them to reassess like the people they value in their life. Why do they value them? Or, so for instance, if they want this job and they got rejected from it, like, what is it about this job that you like? What kind of status does this offer you? What kind of sense of fulfillment does it offer you? Can you like find that sense of status or fulfillment or enjoyment in other fields? Jimmy, why did you like Jimmy so much? You know, did he genuinely offer something in a connection that you really appreciated? Because if he did, you can remember that, you know, like, this is what I really valued about Jimmy. So this is kind of something that I want in a future partner. Or were you settling for Jimmy because he was cute, or he was nice to you one time, or you just don't want to be alone? Look at how you invite others to dance with you, to relate. Be welcoming while also keeping healthy boundaries in place. I think, boundaries, encourage them to develop their boundaries, and also encourage them to elevate their self-esteem, you know, work on having that sense of pride in themselves. Once you feel comfortable about your ground rules for the people you bring into your life, it is easier to open your heart. If you notice that you keep people at a distance or avoid meeting new people, investigate this habit. Though it might have been important to protect you at one time in your life, consider how it is working for you now and what would help you feel safe enough to open this door. Do they have any limiting beliefs? Also notice in what areas of your life you ask other people to do your work for you. The descendant can point to what you might try to import from other people. While this practice can refer to an important skill in a work situation, it has its dangers in a personal relationship. So this person may need to have a better sense of independence, especially if like they're younger, or this is like a personal relationship and not like a work relationship. If you feel disempowered, you might be drawn to powerful people. If you're an extrovert who inwardly craves emotional and spiritual intimacy, you might draw on someone who helps you cozy up at home. It's wonderful when others can help you develop latent characteristics within yourself. But if you ask them to do this work for you and they leave, there goes your resource. If you see them as only an extension of yourself, you can't really see them. When you develop your own resources, you can see these others as whole beings with their own needs and gifts. So really fostering within them a sense of independence and self-sufficiency. So let's see. Gift. Tend the inlet to your heart. Invite in relationships that are clear, healing, nurturing, self-responsible, and encouraging of mutual evolution. So even like, okay, say for instance, like maybe you have a family business and like this is your child or your sibling or an extended family member, and like you really wanted to give them a shot, but it's just not working out for some reason. It's okay to say that, you know, like, hey, I love you, we're family, but this is not working, you know. And it's not you rejecting them as a person. It's not you rejecting them as a family member. It's not you rejecting their relationship with you. It's just you're saying, like, the kind of relationship we have does not translate into this environment. I need something different, and I respect that you can't provide that, or that you don't have the skills to develop that yet. And I think you would be better suited somewhere else. So 16. Oh, I think I said 26 at first. You come from millions of ancestors who walked this earth in order for you to be born, carrying blood that has run through many rivers and lands across this planet. You came here at this time to create a pathway for healing for all those who have come before and all those who have come after you. You are a part of a great unfolding, a story that humanity has been writing for ages. When you speak your truth and embody your authentic passions with an open heart, you heal your ancestors and ultimately you heal the world. Choosing this path of healing allows any ancestors who were unwell to be healed and creates more freedom and potential for your path. This path of healing opens you up to all blessings, love, and support of your ancestors, endless helping hands at your back cheering you on. Can you feel them with you now? Be the descendants your ancestors would be proud of and honor them as you do it. This card is also a message to take notice of any ancestral family patterns that are ready to be healed and let go of. Let go of any old ways of being that are too limiting for your potential of love. So for instance, if this is a family business, or if they pursued a job or a degree or something because at least whether or not this was accurate, they may have felt that it was expected of them, to let them know, like, it's okay, you don't have to follow this path. Be your own person. This could encourage, you could be encouraging to them to, like, connect with their family more often. If they have certain patterns, like, for instance, if this is a romantic relationship or that, like, a romantic situation where their heart was broken, really nurturing, like, especially if they came from a broken family, really nurturing and encouraging and educating on healthy thought processes and behaviors so that they can try to break the cycle of unhealthy connections and instead build strong, mutually respectful relationships. So we have manifesting is my superpower. So definitely hearing this news might cause within them a feeling of insecurity. So it'll be very important to remind them of their capabilities, of their power, and supporting them in exploring their ability to succeed. So, wrong one. Let's see what chakra. This is one of the weird ones, isn't it? Yeah, the stellar gateway. It's beyond time and space, a fifth dimensional reality to which our highest self is constantly connected. It's about recognizing our own infinite light and potential, recognizing that we are not victims but key players in the unfoldment of our life. These cards offer information that our soul already knows, but our human self needs to trust and embody in order to unlock our cosmic potential. So it says, you are a master of manifestation. Every one of your thoughts, actions, non-actions, and choices is affecting the unfolding of your pathway. Realize that you have great potential and power, and you can draw on heavenly support to create the life of your wildest dreams. When you draw this card, this isn't a time to hold back on those dreams. It's a time to aim even higher. If you have already set the bar, move it up. You were born to experience wealth, health, and happiness in every area of your life. It's time to claim that experience. You are in a powerful vortex of manifestation at this time, and therefore it's important to ensure that your intentions and ideas are aligned with the highest. Don't focus on your fears. Acknowledge those feelings and let them go. Feel how you want to feel. Visualize what you're ready to receive. Experience in your heart the abundance that you're ready to experience in your life. I'm a master of manifestation. So this could involve, like, helping them set up a goal list or a vision board, maybe directing them towards resources that talk about, like, spiritual manifestation, or even, like, psychology materials about the impact that our words have on others and on ourselves, and the concept of, like, retraining your brain and speaking more kindly and powerfully to yourself. So group number 3, I hope that this reading resonated with you. If it did, please let me know how in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed it, I would love it if you gave it a thumbs up. And if you want to join our family but haven't done so, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll know whenever I upload a new video. Bye.